Hi friends, I'm Erin. Welcome back to my channel. Today I would like to talk about a little farm trip that I took with my dad to do a little camping. So on arrival to this campsite, my dad picked me up. Unfortunately, the car was dead and we had to call for someone to come jump it. So we were afraid we were going to miss our reservation, but it all worked out in the end. After he picked me up, we drove through parts of Albany and then through to Troy. And then you just kind of drive past Troy and there's this beautiful reservoir, which we wish that we had stopped to look at, but we decided that we needed to get to our reservation so we didn't keep our host waiting, who was going to greet us when we got there. Our host, Elizabeth, she was amazing. We told her that the car was having problems and told her we were going to be late, and she said not a problem, and we were just in communication the whole time. When we got there, you pull in and there is a little shop. It is called the Farm Shop, and they sell all kinds of goodies in there. Okay, so this is the Graceful Acres Farm Shop. This is where we first pulled in. So you pull in here. We didn't do this on the way in, so I just wanted to show you real quick. You get your wood and kindling and newspaper right here, right when you pull in. And look for this building across the street. This is the Otter Creek Farms. So we drove past this and had to turn around. So it's on your, well, it was on our right-hand side, but it's across the street is where you're supposed to pull in for this. But yes, this is their little store. It's so cute. You can buy some hot dogs, buns, pork chops, ground pork, ham, steaks. They have taco mix, beef jerky, maple syrup. This is what I got, the Vita Coco. I love coconut water. And they have s'mores packs and sparkling water. They have tons of cute little stuff here, and you know, up on this board it'll tell you things for sale: milk, butter, cream, and yeah, it's very, very cute. But anyway, after we stopped at the farm store, we met Elizabeth and picked up our wood for the night. We drove up to our campsite and we passed one of them on the way. So the one we passed was called Big Pine. We could kind of look and see what kind of campsite that was. Apparently that's the newest campsite of the three, and it was cool to be able to have a little sneak peek. All the campsites are different. They each have their own charm, and ours ended up being the overlook at the top, which I loved ours. It was gorgeous. The other one is called the Hideaway, which the name, it makes complete sense because we never got to see the campsite. We just saw a trail that went off to the right and we never saw where the trail actually went, even though our campsite overlooked everything else. So I would be curious to go back there at some point and try out a different campsite. When we got to our campsite, they have a little designated parking spot. We just parked our car and unloaded all of our stuff and just made trips back and forth to our tent and got everything situated for the night. Oh my God. Yeah, that's very heavy. So we park here and this is our little area. It's called the Overlook, and I mean, wow, it's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. The tent was way cuter in person than I ever thought that it would be. It was just so adorable, so cute, and just well furnished. You really didn't have to bring anything with you except clothes and any snacks, I guess, if you wanted, or you could bring your own food.
Wine. It's got a bottle opener, wine cork, canned. Coffee maker.
Yeah, it's nice. They provide a lot.
It's got everything.
View.
And are these our paper towels or theirs?
Those are theirs.
Oh wow, because I brought.
And they provided us towels.
Yep.
For the outdoor shower. That's awesome.
I didn't have found that yet.
That's it's the solar shower, and it's in with the
Oh, is it in the
outhouse.
it's in the compost.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. All right. So we're here. It's gorgeous. I love it. We're getting dinner delivered probably, I think, in like 45 minutes, because this is on a farm, Otter Creek Farm, and it's Graceful Farmstays, I believe is what it's called. And yeah, so you can order fresh food, farm food from them, and they bring it up. And so, sorry, there are tons of bugs. But yeah, so we're waiting on that. So we're gonna unpack, and then we're going to cook dinner right over here at our little fire pit. So yeah, this is our little box we got. Fresh butter, oil and vinaigrette for the salad. We got some asparagus, we got some steaks in there. And in this napkin, which I can't open, there's some fresh bread. And yeah, so we're gonna make some dinner. After getting the fire going for a little bit, we started cooking, having our salad, and having our steaks. Everything was farm fresh and delicious. We loved it. Absolutely would do that again. And it was very affordable for the quality of the ingredients. We also checked out the outhouse, which actually that was the first thing I did when I got there, was use the outhouse. And I loved it. It was so cute and so nice, and I really enjoyed that they did not have a door on the outhouse, because I think it made it cleaner and way less buggy. Normally there's a door on the outhouse for privacy. You didn't really need privacy up there. You're the only ones around that campsite. All the campsites that are on either side of you are far enough away where nobody is going to be able to see you. And it just made for a cool experience to use the bathroom and look at the trees and look at the birds. And I just feel like the normal outhouses with the doors on it, the bugs crawl into the little window, and because it's so shaded in there, spiders like to make a home in there. We didn't have that issue at all. Actually, we only saw one spider the entire time we were there, which was crazy. I'm sure there were tons and tons more out there, but we were lucky and we had no spider issues. So the next thing I want to talk about is the solar shower. So in the outhouse, they had a solar shower, which a lot of people who go camping or go to music festivals know what a camp shower is or a solar shower is. But I will just say that you fill it up with water, you leave it in the sun, it has a thermometer on it, and then when it's at the right temperature, you can hang it up somewhere and then actually shower underneath it. It has a little nozzle. Okay, so we are packing up, and we just realized this is where you do the solar shower. So the solar shower is actually in the outhouse right back there. And then you would leave it out and let it warm up. And yeah, and so this is where you would shower. You have a little bit of privacy back here. Pretty sure that this is what it's used for. And you can stand on this and put your stuff right over here, and then you would clip it onto that and pull it up, and then you could easily shower just right here. Thought that was pretty cool. We only just figured it out, I think. After all of this cooking, my dad and I were very tired already. We had a very, very long week, and all we really wanted to do was keep the fire going and just enjoy being outside and enjoying the peace and quiet. I can't tell you how quiet it was until you experience that kind of quiet. My apartment is very quiet. I never thought my apartment was super loud, but being out there, it was silence. Other than the occasional chirping of birds, silence. And it was just a very comforting and relaxing feeling.
No.
My dad and I decided to wash the dishes, so everything was done and put away all nicely for our hosts, or if they were having other people the next day. And after we did dishes, we just put some more wood on the fire and decided that it was going to be a perfect time to crack a beer and relax. So my dad just left to run down and grab us some more wood because we have been burning through our wood because we cooked dinner and that was a while ago. Fire's smoking away. We had a fantastic dinner and now we're really tired. I did not sleep well last night. My dad slept great apparently, but I did not. And so we're just tired now. We're just hanging out. See our little tent in the back, it's so cute. Now that my dad and I are relaxing, we decided to have some s'mores. We wanted to take our drinks out into the fields and go look at the stars. And that was something really wonderful to share with my father. We just looked at the Big Dipper and all the other stars, and everything was so bright and so beautiful. We heard coyotes off in the distance, which I thought was going to scare me, and it didn't because you could tell they were very far off in the distance, but it was really cool to hear. We sat down and made s'mores and we told stories and we had big laughs, and then we ended up tucking into bed, getting the fire started in the tent because it actually was quite cold. And once we got all toasty and warm, we both passed right out. Yeah, so got this going and got our kindling down here, shoved some pillows and towels down there, and there's snacks in the back. And I just washed up with this water cooler and this soap right here. Washed up, washed my hands, and now I'm going to take my contacts out now that I'm not covered and get ready for bed. Hang all our stuff up. We got a flashlight going up here. Got our sheets and things ready for bed. Feel like I'm in a safari tent. I am still loving this toilet. I'm still in the same clothes from last night. But I'm gonna try and freshen up real fast. These are actually flushable wipes, but I brought my own garbage bag for multiple reasons, but just for stuff that I can't like throw out here. So even though these are flushable wipes, I'm just gonna use them to freshen up. They're still wipies after all. I slept great, but once it got cold, it got cold. And then I didn't want to get up and turn the heat back on because I did that once in the middle of the night, and you can't, I don't think you can see it. I'll try and show you after, but I got a splinter and it's already really swollen. I thought I might have just cut myself. Oh no. I definitely have a splinter and it's swelling and it hurts and I need to take it out. So that might be one of our next projects after I change clothes and get myself together and kind of pick up the campsite. And I really want a cup of tea and lots of water because we had a few beers last night, but it was worth it. At this point, our only task was to make sure the camp was all nice and cleaned up. We just had to check out by noon, and so 9 to noon, we still have a few hours. So basically we just sat outside, we made some tea, we started the fire up, had some granola bars, and we signed our Overlook book, which each campsite comes with a journal in which you can write the experiences you had. You can also tell your host any ways to improve your experience, like if there was something you really felt like they needed to include. We didn't feel like they needed to include any more than they already did, so we just wrote a nice little synopsis of what we did that night. So we ended up trying out the hammock, and which was very funny seeing my dad get in and out of the hammock. But he enjoyed it, I enjoyed it, and we just made sure we were all packed up and we tallied up at the farm store, and then we headed back home. After feeling really refreshed, I summed up not my last semester, but this past semester, my spring semester, and I decided that the best way to celebrate being done with finals was to hang out with one of my best friends, Lauren, and I invited her to go on like a little bar crawl with me, and then as finals came to a close, we just felt like we're too tired, or I'm too tired, and I don't really feel like doing any of that. So I asked her, do you want to come back to this camp with me? I just went there 3 days ago. I hope the host doesn't think I'm crazy, but I really, really, really want to go back, and you would love it, and it's gorgeous. And so that's what we did. We packed up the car and I booked it again, and I told my fiance I was leaving again, and he was just like, oh my gosh, already? And I was like, yep, hope you don't mind. He's like, nope, go have a good time. So yeah, we packed up the car and we went back. The only things different that I would say this time is it was nice having that experience with one of my best friends. Her and I did a lot of playfulness, playing around. You know, we went to the reservoir on the way in and we actually stopped, whereas my dad and I didn't get to stop there because we were running late. And so it was nice just to see the reservoir and take some photos. And we met Elizabeth back at the farm shop, and she was wonderful, and she was like, it's so nice to see you back so soon, like we would love to have you anytime. And yeah, so we did the same thing. We loaded up our car, we got the wood, we went to our campsite. We decided to stay at the same campsite that my dad and I stayed at. I do want to go back there and stay at another campsite another time, but I just thought it was perfect, and so I took Lauren back to the same exact one. Lauren and I decided not to do the dinner basket this time. I wanted to try something else, so I actually brought my own pork and seasonings and sides for dinner. Lauren and I ended up doing the arrival basket, that's what it's called. A little picnic basket that Elizabeth, the host, had ready for us, and it had a homemade potato soup, it had salads, it had warm rolls, and it just was really, really nice to have as soon as we got there while we're unpacking and everything, just to have something already ready and freshly made, and it was so delicious. We finished cooking and we did our dishes, similar to what I did with my dad. We just wanted to make sure everything was put away so that we could just enjoy the rest of the evening and not have to clean or do anything the next day. We sat outside for a little while, and then we decided to drive to a local wine store, which was only about 10 minutes away. We picked up a bottle of wine and we came back and we poured some drinks and we sat outside, and same thing, I couldn't wait till the sun went down so we could look at the stars. We put a little picnic blanket out and we just kind of looked at the view, and we were having girl talk, and it really was just the most wonderful experience to share with one of your best friends. After that, we also made s'mores, and we just had some big laughs, and we ended up calling it a night, stoking up the wood fire in our tent again, and going right to bed. So same thing, we got up, we made some tea, and we just kind of like played on the hammock for a while and packed up all our stuff and said goodbye to our campsite. So overall, I can't say enough good things about Graceful Acres Farmstay at Otter Creek Farms in Johnsonville. I will link the Airbnb booking down below if you would like to book it or just have a look at it. There's some great pictures on there. I loved that everything was provided for us. You know, I've never been glamping in my entire life, and I don't think it's too too much glamping. I think it's kind of right in between of camping and glamping. Yes, we were provided a lot of things and things were set up for us, but overall, like, you know, we did our dishes outside in a little pail. We made our own fire. We were all by ourselves. We had to bring, you know, the normal stuff that you go camping with, like a cooler, and we brought our own camp chairs. So it still was a camping experience, but it was just nice, especially the first time I went with my dad, that we were on a time crunch. Like, okay, we gotta go, enjoy our time, and then I gotta get back because I gotta be there for finals. It was nice not having to set up a tent and then break it down in the morning. Believe me when I say the non-glamping tent versus the glamping tent, I was still just as tired. My legs hurt from carrying all the wood and loading things in and out of the car and stoking the fire and leaning over and cooking, and I felt like I got a workout. So it was still the full camping experience, and I really, really enjoyed it. But the only things I would say you definitely should bring yourself is some kind of solar powered lights. We used flashlights and headlamps, which I also recommend bringing a headlamp, and foldable chairs for around the fire. They do provide 2 beautiful Adirondack chairs, and we definitely used them and we loved them, but it's not the kind of thing you want to bring down to the fire and just let sit by the fire and get all dirty or all dusty, or if it rains. We just didn't want to ruin their chairs, so we kind of brought our own chairs. And the cooler, definitely bring your own cooler and ice. But everything else was provided for us. So it was just really, really wonderful experience. I absolutely am going to go back again this summer. I really wanted to bring my fiance, but we have a lot of plans coming up and weekends are just not working out for us trying to plan a camping trip. So hopefully we'll find some time soon to go, and maybe I'll make a full vlog then when I do that camping experience. But for now, because I didn't do a lot of talking to the camera, I just put in some clips and stuff in the background, so I'll try and do a better job of that next time. But thank you so much for watching, for listening. If you have any questions, comment down below, and like and subscribe if you'd like to see more of this content. Bye!